If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your bum. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, give some feed forward. Feed forward, feed back. It's amazing stuff. I don't like to call it feedback because that means I'm going to go backwards. I want to go forwards. And this is my question. Do you give feed forward positive compliments and praise? Do you give feed forward, which is still positive, but this is how you could improve? So I'll give an example. Look at my garden. Isn't it beautiful? Now, when I say that, I'm asking for you to tell me that my garden's beautiful. I'm not actually saying, please give me some feed forward. And that's one of the challenges with giving and receiving feed forward, is we don't want to give criticism. It's uncomfortable to give criticism unless that's something you really like to do. Most people don't. So if something's not right, we don't give it. And then if we actually want feed forward, we usually don't get it because we ask for it in the wrong way. So if I say to you, isn't my garden beautiful? That's not really asking for feed forward, is it? It's just saying, please agree with me. And there's another step to that too, because I'm obviously creating a garden that I really like. So if I want your opinion about my garden, I'd have to ask, why do I want your opinion? Do I want you to like me? Do I want you to stroke my ego? Do I want you to tell me that I'm wonderful? Versus do I actually want, if you're a landscape gardener, do I want you to tell me how to make my garden better? So there's a whole heap of things to bring into play. It's cold out here. To bring into play when we talk about feed forward. And again, I find it very uncomfortable to say feedback because my vocabulary has changed. So if you want to give feed forward, if you want to tell somebody, or if you're even thinking, that's beautiful, that looks great, I had great service, what a great business, please do it. There's so much criticism and nastiness in the world. Wouldn't it be awesome if every time you had great service or every time you had a great experience with a business or an organisation that you shared with them, that was amazing. And it's interesting because I've had two very special telephone calls, one from TripAdvisor and one from Google, to share with me that am I a real person, and I've had some complaints. And the complaints about me were that all of my reviews and all of my TripAdvisor critiques, they're not critiques, they're only awesome. When I have a great experience, I tell the world, go there, it was amazing. And the reason for that is if I have a challenge with something, I don't go to the World Wide Web for that. I go directly to the manager or the owner of the business or the duty manager and share with them that there's been a challenge, not get onto TripAdvisor and whinge, moan and complain, or get onto Google and whinge, moan and complain. It doesn't do anything. It just makes, if you are angry with a business, it might make you feel better. But also consider that if you write horrible things about people, that may come and bite you in the future. Is it possible that if people are looking to employ you or date you or invest money or time in you, and they have a look at the kind of person you are when it comes to reviewing and social media posting, if you always write nasty things about businesses or you always put people down or make negative comments, is it possible that you could get that reputation? So that's something to consider. I always give positive feed forward specifically to the business and the worldwide. And then if there's a challenge and I need to give feed forward to make something better, I always go directly to the person that can fix it, who is the solution finder, the person who can provide me or the situation with a solution. Could that be a really good idea? So if you're in business and you want true feed forward, not somebody praising you and they don't really mean it, or they just want praising you so they can get a prize or get money or get something for free, and that's often what happens. And that's the way we ask for it. Please give us a testimonial and we'll give you a month for free to membership. That often happens at health clubs, and I just think that's really embarrassing because now you're bribing people to give you feed forward. If you genuinely want testimonials, here's an idea. Be a great person, have a great business, treat people beautifully, and then perhaps you'll get great testimonials. Now, you may not, but wouldn't it be nicer to get genuine, real ones rather than asking people or bribing them to give you a testimonial? That's just something to consider. If you genuinely want to improve your business and you really are interested in people's feed forward, this is really important because people will give it to you in all manner and all sorts of ways, or they won't. If you've ever tried to get feed forward for your business, you might know that if you send out a feedback form or you ask people, there's another one that people get bribed for. If you fill out our feedback form, we'll give you $10 or $50 or 1 month for free or a gift. And again, it's an interesting way to bribe people. So how about this? How about ask for it in a specific, personal, customized, tailored way. So what I'm doing right now could work really effectively. Look down the eye of a camera, talk to your customers and clients personally, not as a group. So it goes a bit like this. Please, could you share with me what we're doing really well in our business and what we're doing terribly, or what disappoints you, or what you don't like, or what you think we could do better? I'd really appreciate your feed forward, your ideas, your suggestions, your opinion, because we can't get better if you, our customer, our client, our member, if you don't tell us. So if we're doing something great, please tell us so that we can keep doing it. If we're doing something crappy, please tell us. We don't want you to get upset. We don't want to hurt your feelings. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to give bad customer service. But without your help, we won't know whether or not we're providing you with what you want. So please, in whatever format suits you best, send us a letter, send us an email, give us a telephone call, pop in to see us. Whatever you are most comfortable with, we would really appreciate your feed forward so that we can get better every single day for you and for all of our customers and clients. And if we have screwed up, if we've made a mistake and you don't do business with us anymore, could you please tell us what we did wrong? Even if we can't help you anymore and you don't want to do business with us anymore because we've really screwed you around, we don't want to do that to anybody else. So to save anybody else the hassle, please could you tell us what we've done wrong so that we don't upset anybody else if we have upset you. I'm sharing that with you from my heart to yours, and I've done that as a health club manager, I've done that as a personal exercise coach, I've done that as a business consultant, as a professional speaker, and obviously as an education provider. It's from my heart to yours, and I want your feed forward, please. So if you really want it, you need to ask for it in a way that somebody's going to feel comfortable. Because a lot of people don't feel comfortable giving feed forward, and I always tell this story. I had a lady who left my health club. She cancelled her membership. And when I asked her personally face to face, please share with me if we've done anything wrong, if we've upset you, is there anything we could have done better? And she said, no, everything's great, I just don't have time to come anymore. So then I said very personally, I really would love you to help my other members. If we have done something that hasn't been right, or we've done something that you would do differently, I'd love your advice, your opinion, your suggestions on our health club. What would be the best way for you to do that? Perhaps write me a letter. And she said, yeah, that's a good idea. I like to write letters. Well, please don't quote me on the number because it was a long time ago. But when I got the letter from this gorgeous lady, it was about this fat. She sent me over 100 pages of things that had happened while she was at the health club that were wrong, that were bad, things that I didn't know about because I wasn't there 24/7. So there were days when some other team players arrived late, or they left the toilets dirty, or the music was too loud, or the equipment didn't get put away, and she put it all in this big pile of feed forward. Now, the beautiful thing about feed forward, regardless of how it's wrapped, it is a very special gift. Even if somebody wraps it in cow poo and throws it at you, sadly, they're going to get smelly hands too. But any feed forward is a gift, because the fact that somebody gives it to you means they've invested time to make your business better, even if they're angry, even if they're wrong. And here's an interesting side note. Even if you believe a person to be wrong, if you argue with them, if you justify what you're doing, if you disagree with them, is it possible that they will never give you feed forward in the future, and they may even never give anybody feed forward, because it's so uncomfortable when you give somebody feed forward and then the person gets cranky or offended, or they justify, or they get defensive or angry. So even if what somebody's telling you is not true, or you don't agree with it. So if somebody could come along and say to me, Rowie, your garden's bloody ugly, it's disgusting, I hate it. And the only thing I would say, because I love my garden, but I'm not going to disagree with the person, because then in the future, if I want their feed forward, insight, opinion, ideas on other things, they won't give it to me because I'll be defensive. So I'm just going to say, I'm very sorry that you don't love my garden. Anytime somebody tells you something that you don't agree with, apologise for the way you made them feel. But if you believe that you're right, don't apologise for what you did. So, for example, if you have a really nice money-back guarantee on your product or your service, or if you have a very special way of treating customers and clients, and you do that because it's part of you, it's who you are, and you love it that you do it, and it's a very special thing that you do, if somebody gives you feed forward on that and says, don't do that, it's stupid, or we think that's wrong, or we think it's a dumb thing to do in business, rather than disagree with them, because now you're going to be negotiating your core values and your standards. Don't lower your standards for feed forward. Take it on board, appreciate it, and thank them for it. And if you've offended somebody or hurt somebody, apologise for the way you made them feel. Of course, wouldn't you? If you hurt somebody, that's what you'd say. I'm so sorry for the way we've made you feel. If you screwed up, you need to say, I'm really sorry for what I did, because you did the wrong thing. But if what you did isn't wrong and you believe it to be right and it's part of your core values, then just apologise and say, I'm sorry for the way we've made you feel. I'll give you another example. One of the really cool things to do when you're in business is to send personal letters to people. It's just a unique thing and nobody does it anymore. And one of the things I always suggest in business, if you have a local business, rather than putting brochures in people's letterboxes, bright coloured envelope, hand address it and pop it in people's letterboxes, either send it or hand deliver it. And do it on a regular basis, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, so that it's a regular thing. And we always talk about having fat mail, so you put a lolly in there, or a chocolate, or a peg, or a toothpick, or something that makes the letter fat and interesting. And that's a whole beautiful new special way of marketing. And we will have a personal coaching session on that if you think that's a really cool idea. But here's what's going to happen. Some people are going to love that and think that's really cool. And other people are going to think that they're not going to like it. And in fact, we'd had an example just recently where a lady called an exercise professional and said, my daughter thinks you're stalking her because you keep putting coloured letters in her letterbox. And that's where you say, I'm so sorry for the way we've made your daughter feel. We're really sorry. That was never what we meant to do, and I'm very, very sorry for the way she feels. But why would you negotiate your beautiful, unique, memorable marketing plan that always will work because it's unique and different? It's just not going to work for everybody. So that particular young lady obviously doesn't need a personal exercise coach right now and doesn't like getting things in her letterbox that are personal. But it doesn't mean that you would change what you do. It just means you really appreciate the feed forward that you got and you apologise for the way you made somebody feel. So just a really interesting example. So if I wrap all of that up, do we get better without feed forward? Of course not. Everything in my life that I've ever improved on, got better at, made more money from, become a better person because of, is because somebody took the time to give me feed forward, whether it was negative, Rowie, don't do that, it's a stupid thing to do, or congratulations, Rowie, that's a great thing to do, we really appreciate that you're doing that. So if you're doing something well, it's nice to know that you're doing it well so you can keep getting better at it. And if you're really bad at something or people have got great advice on how you can get better, isn't that awesome when they take the time to give it to you? But if you don't ask for it, you may not get it. And is it possible that you need to ask for it in a personalised, customised, special way that will suit the person? Some people will just say, that's crap, and they'll tell you straight to your face, you are terrible. And sometimes that hurts and it's really direct, but it's quick and it's over. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. That's awesome because you get the information really quickly. Other people, that's very confrontational and never do it. So yes, you might need to ask, please send me a letter, please send me an email, but please tell me, what do I need to do to improve and get better? What's your opinion, please? And remember that asking for somebody's advice, their opinion, their insight, their feed forward is one of the ultimate compliments, yeah? That beautiful book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, by Dale Carnegie. For me, if you ask me, overview that book, Rowie, that would be it. That the greatest compliment that you can give people is to ask for their advice, their opinion, their feed forward, their insight, their wisdom. So ask your customers and clients, ask your friends, ask your family, ask everybody to help you get better. Ask in a way that they're actually going to want to give it to you. So if I say, don't you love my garden, I'm not going to get great feed forward because if you hate my garden and you're a landscape gardener, you're not going to help me get better. And just as an interesting side note, a lot of people say that to me, Rowie, can you give me feed forward on this brochure, or can you give me feed forward on my uniform, or can you give me feed forward on my business plan? And it doesn't come with, please, can I get help with it? It comes with, please tell me I'm awesome. That kind of, oh, can you have a look at my business plan? It's awesome. Can you have a look at my brochure? It's really good. Well, in those situations, I don't give feed forward because the brochure's already produced. The person obviously loves it. There's no value added. But if somebody comes to me and says, Rowie, I really need some help with my brochure. I want to make it the best it can be. Could you please give me your insight and wisdom on marketing? I know that you've done a lot of brochures and you've helped a lot of businesses grow. Please, can you help me with my brochure? That's a whole different story. If you go and get your car sign written, and then you ask for my feed forward, I'm going to tell you it's awesome because the car's already sign written. You can't change it. But if you're about to sign write your car and you say to me, Rowie, I want to put the best sign writing on my car to get the best value for my money, to make sure that my marketing works, then it's awesome to be able to say, well, let's brainstorm this together and work out what would be best to put on your car. So feed forward is a very special gift regardless of how it's wrapped. Ask for it in a way that if you actually want help, if you actually want somebody to give you their wisdom, knowledge and insight, then ask for it in a way that they're going to give it to you. But if you ask, please give me a compliment, you'll probably get a compliment, but it won't help you grow. It's been suggested that we, and I always do this movement, Rowie, what are you doing? I just got a kick in my bum. The interesting thing about a kick in the bum, you go up and forward. Up and forward. When somebody kisses your bum, you go back and down. So it's very nice to get compliments and it's very nice to get praises, but they tend not to help you grow. And the only time that is really special when somebody gives you a compliment, if you think you're doing something well in business and your customers and clients say, that's awesome, we really love it, then you know to keep doing it. But if you really want your business to grow fast, take on board the ugly feed forward, the negative feed forward, the nasty people, because feedback is a very special gift, regardless of how it's wrapped. So if feed forward is the breakfast of champions, may it also be morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea and dinner. Go for the feed forward. Woohoo! I'm hungry for feed forward. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Woohoo!